lights up on the interior of a household, done up to look like a birthday party. It looks like the birthday party is either in progress or about to begin. After several moments, the front door to the house slowly opens, and in trudge a few adults, all holding gift boxes or trays of food. These are Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins. All six adults look exhausted, weary, almost terrified. Why this is, we don't quite know yet, but there seems to be an air of ominous menace to the proceedings. Soon, Mr. Smith heaves a sigh and speaks.
This is unbelievable. Simply unbelievable.
George, just relax.
Relax? How can I relax? Why the hell are we doing this again?
Just let it go, George.
Yeah, George, just go with the flow. Don't give yourself any more gray hairs than you already have.
I just can't understand it. Why on earth are we letting this happen?
George, keep your voice down. If she hears us and gets angry, she'll do you know what.
Yeah, let's just put on smiles and get this party over with.
That's just it. We've given this damn brat 9 birthday parties this month. 9! For God's sake, why are we letting her terrorize us like this?
Because we don't want to go to the bad zone, George. The place she can send us to with just a thought if we make her mad.
Mary? How do we know for sure she can actually do that? Huh?
George, for God's sakes, we've seen it with our own eyes. Dozens and dozens of people are gone. Gone forever. All by Bobby Joe just looking at them.
Yes, and I prefer it was not happening to me. Thank you very much.
Mr. Smith takes out a flask and takes a sip of it.
Yeah, great. A bunch of grown adults terrified of a 12-year-old girl. This is really embarrassing.
George, do not get drunk at this party. You know you say things you don't mean when you drink.
Yeah, sure, fine. Just call the little demon seed in here and let's get this nonsense done.
Of course. uh, Bobby Joe? Bobby Joe, sweetie? We're here. We're ready to start your birthday party, honey. Come on in here.
I'll be right there.
Slowly, in skips Bobby Joe, dressed in a red and white party dress. She gives a big, innocent, though at the same time menacing smile to all the adults, who, with the exception of Mr. Smith, nervously inch forward, plastered smiles on their faces.
Hiya, everyone.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
Happy birthday, Bobby Joe!
Aw, shucks. Thanks, everyone. Mr. Smith, you didn't say happy birthday to me. That's awfully rude, don't you think?
Happy birthday, Bobby Joe.
That's better. Oh, are those presents all for me? Oh gosh, you shouldn't have. Just put them on the table there. I'll open them all later.
One by one, the adults all shuffle over to the table and place their gifts onto it.
Bobby Joe? Is, anyone else coming to the party, honey?
Nope, just you guys.
Oh, goodness. Surely one of the kids in the neighborhood are gonna come, aren't they?
Unfortunately, no. Most of the kids who used to live here are gone now. And the few that are left, they're too far scared to come here. Ah, well, it's their loss. They're gonna miss out on a swell time. I mean, I was planning on inviting Bobby Pritchett to my party. Oh, he's the most handsome fella in the whole entire neighborhood. At least I thought he was. until he called me an ugly witch girl 2 days ago. Then I just gave him a good hard look, wished real hard, and pow, I sent him to the bad zone. Gosh, you guys should have heard him as he started to go away. He was all, Bobby Joe, wait, no, I'm sorry. Boy, it sure was funny.
Hey, Bobby Joe, you sure are a card.
Yeah, a regular Joan Rivers.
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like a compliment, so I allow it. Gee, Mr. Smith, you're not laughing. Don't you think what I did was funny?
George, laugh. For God's sakes, laugh.
George, just humor her.
Hilarious, Bobby Joe.
There we go. Okay, everyone, it's time to start the party. First things first, to start off my birthday,
Your 9th one this month.
George, shh.
we're gonna have
Slowly, Bobby Joe clicks on a nearby boombox and some music plays. She soon begins to dance in place.
a dance contest. Everyone boogie! The winner gets a prize.
The other adults heave sighs and begin to dance, half-heartedly. Mr. Smith watches this with a silent disgust as he sips from his flask again.
Mr. Smith, you're not dancing.
George, just dance for God's sake.
Yeah, I don't know how to dance, but even I'm doing it.
Oh, sorry, Bobby Joe, but my knee hurts. So consider me an audience member.
Well, okay. I'll let you slide. For now. Hey, speaking of which, let's do the electric slide. All together now.
Why didn't I come up with that excuse?
Shh, she'll hear you.
With that, the adults, minus Mr. Smith, follow Bobby Joe in the electric slide as Mr. Smith sips more from his flask. Soon, with a passage of time, the adults are now playing Simon Says with Bobby Joe.
Simon says, raise your arms. Simon says, lift one leg. Simon says, jump up and down. Now stop. Simon didn't say.
Oh, shucks. You got us, Bobby Joe.
Yep, I guess you win, huh?
We're so proud of you, Bobby Joe. Right, George?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another passage of time. Now the adults and Bobby Joe are playing a trivia game. Mr. Jenkins reads a question to Bobby Joe.
This film won the 1967 Academy Award for Best Picture.
Is it The Jungle Book?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Hooray! I win again. That's 8 games in a row for me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so smart, Bobby Joe.
Yeah.
It's a man for all seasons. So Jungle Book wasn't even nominated. Hell, Jungle Book didn't even come out till October of that year.
George, the card totally says The Jungle Book.
Just let her have this one, George, please.
Are you calling me stupid, Mr. Smith?
Okay, sure. It was The Jungle Book.
Yay! I win.
Yep, just like always.
Another passage of time. The adults and Bobby Joe are now playing pin the tail on the donkey. By now, Mr. Smith is visibly drunk, swaying and muttering to himself. Bobby Joe is blindfolded and making her way slowly towards the donkey, a tail in her hand. She is nowhere near the target, and Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Jones frantically guide her to the right spot. Bobby Joe pins the tail, and the adults all applaud as Bobby Joe removes her blindfold.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure did. Way to
Well
go.
done.
Joe.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh my god, you got it.
Yay! I got it. Huh, boy, I sure am great at all these party games, aren't I?
Absolutely, Bobby Joe.
The best.
You're so clever, Bobby Joe.
The sweetest little girl.
This has been such a fun party, Bobby Joe. Ahem. George, wouldn't you like to say something kind to Bobby Joe?
Yes, Mr. Smith. I always love to hear compliments. Don't you have something you want to say?
You want me to say something to ya? Do ya?
Uh-huh.
You really want me to say what I'm thinking right now?
George.
'Cause if that's the case, I'll definitely say something to you, Bobby Joe. You are a spoiled, stupid, no good, disgusting brat.
Excuse me?
I'm not speaking another language. Am I? I said you, Bobby Joe, are a spoiled, stupid, no good, disgusting brat.
George, you don't mean that. I'm sure you didn't.
Yeah, George, you're just being silly. Isn't he so silly, Bobby Joe?
Oh, will you spineless jellyfish shut up? I meant exactly what I said to you, and I'll say it again if I have to.
I don't really like people who say mean things like that, Mr. Smith. I think you need to apologize to me right now.
George, just apologize, and then I'll take you outside to get some air.
Absolutely, Bobby Joe.
Oh, I won't apologize. Bobby Joe, I'm sick of this. Sick of you holding us hostage like this. Sick of you terrorizing us. Not even your birthday, for Christ's sake. But you insist on being a little babyish brat and having us act like fools. What are we, clowns to you? You think you're queen or something? 'Cause I got news for you. You aren't.
George, let's bring you home to sleep this off.
Get off of me! All of you! I should have shot you when I had the chance. I have my gun at home after all.
George, for God's sake, stop it.
George, I'm begging you, stop.
Mr. Smith, I'm gonna give you one last chance. Apologize to me right now, or you're going to the bad zone. I'll forget all about you being mean if you apologize.
Nothing doing. Come on, come on! Let's just jump her! Jump her, take her outside and kill her! She can't make us all vanish at once. There's enough of us that we can subdue her! Ah, you bunch of cowards!
I'm warning you, Mr. Smith.
Warn me until your lungs give out, you little brat! I'll end this once and for all!
George, stop! No!
Suddenly, Bobby Joe stares at Mr. Smith and points a finger at him. Mr. Smith freezes in place, unable to move. He clutches at his throat and opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. The other adults all move away frantically as Mr. Smith, now pleading, holds his arms out for them.
Someone, please, help me! Help!
The lights flicker back on, and we now see a pile of ash and clothes where Mr. Smith was. The other adults can only gape in terror as Mrs. Smith stifles a sob, comforted by Mrs. Jenkins and Mrs. Jones. Slowly, Bobby Joe dusts her hands.
That'll teach him to be rude. What are you all standing for, huh? We're up for the best part of my party. It's time to sing happy birthday to me. And then you can all watch me open my presents, and we can all smile and laugh and be happy together. You're all feeling happy right now, aren't you?
Yes, Bobby Joe. We're happy. We're all happy, aren't we, gang?
Good. Good.
Bobby Joe walks over to her cake, strikes a match, then lights 2 candles on them in the shape of the number 12. She smiles and beckons the adults closer.
Come on, everyone. Come on and sing to me. Sing!
Happy birthday to
You.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby Joe. George, why? Happy birthday to you.
You.
And many more.
With that, Bobby Joe grins and blows out the candles, and we plunge into darkness as the scene comes to an end.